Have you ever wondered, why do I feel like pressure is crushing me, yet I haven't collapsed? Maybe because pressure isn't here to kill you, it's waiting for you to stand tall and prove your true strength. Pressure is not the enemy. You know what's strange about pressure? It's like an annoying guest who knocks on your door every day, but instead of breaking in, it just stands there, waiting for you to decide whether to open or not. Many people think pressure is a silent killer, but science shows the opposite. It's your negative belief about pressure that harms you, not pressure itself. Research from the University of Wisconsin found that people who believe stress is dangerous have a 43% higher risk of early death. Sounds terrifying, right? But the scary part isn't stress itself, it's how you perceive it. Your brain and body react to stress the same way they react when you exercise. Your heart rate rises, your breathing quickens, your blood pumps stronger. That's not a death alarm, it's your system switching on, preparing you for action. Imagine you're out walking and suddenly a dog rushes at you. Your heart pounds, your palms sweat, your mind sharpens. That's your natural defense mechanism. It doesn't kill you, it protects you. So, if every time your heart races you think, "Oh no, I must be having heart trouble," then really, you're making yourself a victim of your thoughts, not of pressure. Your body has its own wisdom, and pressure is just its way of nudging you not to fall asleep on the couch. It's like an alarm clock, annoying, but necessary. The funny thing is, a lot of people dream of a life with zero pressure, but that's like wanting strong muscles without ever lifting weights. The point here is, pressure isn't the enemy, it's a signal. A signal that you're alive, still in the game, still with something worth standing up and fighting for. And if you know how to look it in the eye, you'll realize that pressure is actually helping you grow, not taking you down. Your brain loves challenges. Here's a fun fact, your brain is basically a thrill seeker in disguise. It hates monotony so much that if you stare at a blank wall long enough, it will literally start inventing patterns and movements that don't exist, just to keep itself entertained. So when pressure shows up, your brain doesn't always panic. In fact, a healthy dose of challenge lights it up like a Christmas tree. Neuroscience has a name for this, neuroplasticity. That's the brain's ability to rewire itself every time you face something difficult. When you try a crossword puzzle, learn a dance step, or even just argue with your stubborn grandkid about how to use the TV remote, your brain is stretching, forming new connections, strengthening old ones. Pressure is like a personal trainer for your neurons. It makes them hustle. Think about it. Why do so many seniors who take up learning a language, painting, or even Tai Chi seem sharper and more upbeat? It's not magic, it's biology. Stress, when balanced, releases chemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine. Those aren't just fancy science words, they're the little jolts of motivation and focus that make you feel alive, curious, and yes, a bit more stubborn in the best way possible. And now, of course, nobody loves the feeling of being overwhelmed. But there's a difference between too much pressure and just enough challenge. Too much is like trying to juggle flaming swords when you've barely managed oranges. But just enough? That's like adding a slightly heavier dumbbell. You feel the burn, but you also feel stronger. So the next time you think, "My brain can't handle this anymore," remember, it's not breaking down, it's upgrading. Like software updates, but without the annoying progress bar that freezes at 99%. Pressure pushes your brain to grow, adapt, and become sharper, even at 70, even at 80. In short, your brain doesn't just survive challenges, it craves them. It's proof that pressure isn't there to crush you, it's there to keep you alive, awake, and endlessly evolving. The body trains under pressure. Imagine this, you're climbing a flight of stairs, and halfway up you feel your heart hammering like it's auditioning for a rock band. Most people panic, "Oh no, my body is failing me." But the truth is, your body is simply revving the engine, testing its gears under a bit of weight. Pressure doesn't just challenge your brain, It literally trains your body. Here's what happens. When stress hits, your sympathetic nervous system flips on like a light switch. Your heart rate climbs, blood flows faster, lungs expand wider. It's your built-in warm-up routine. Cardiologists actually compare mild, short-term stress to interval training. It strengthens the cardiovascular system the way a treadmill strengthens your legs. Even your immune system gets a kick. A surge of stress hormones like adrenaline signals white blood cells to patrol harder, sharpening your defenses. Let's get real. No one loves sweaty palms or racing breath. But think of pressure as your body's rehearsal for bigger roles. A soldier doesn't wait until battle to train. Your body doesn't wait until crisis to test its limits. Those racing pulses are microdrills, sharpening resilience so that when something truly big happens, you're not caught flat-footed. I once met a retired nurse in her 70s who told me, every time I felt overwhelmed on the job, I reminded myself, this is my body getting stronger for tomorrow's chaos. And sure enough, she was still spry, still steady-handed, long after younger co-workers had burned out. She didn't see pressure as a punishment, she saw it as preparation. So, instead of treating a pounding heart like a red siren of doom, flip the script. It's your body doing push-ups. Pressure doesn't mean breakdown, it means training day. And the more you train, the taller you stand. The story of someone who rose again. Picture this, a man in his late 60s, let's call him Robert. He just retired after 40 years of grinding work, and instead of celebrating freedom, he woke up every morning staring at the ceiling, thinking, what's the point now? His wife had passed away a few years earlier, his kids were busy with their own lives, and he felt like pressure was a cruel weight pressing down on an already empty chest. One afternoon, Robert almost didn't get out of bed. The silence in his house was so heavy it felt louder than any noise. But then something small happened. He got a phone call from his granddaughter, asking if he could help her build a birdhouse for a school project. At first he wanted to say no. He thought, I don't have the energy. But somehow, he said yes that weekend. As he picked up a hammer for the first time in years, something clicked. The wood smelled familiar, the nails bent awkwardly, the birdhouse looked crooked. But he felt alive. The pressure he had thought was crushing him, the loneliness, the loss, the sense of uselessness, shifted. It became fuel. He realized that as long as someone still needed him, he had a reason to stand tall. Within months, Robert was volunteering at a community center, teaching kids how to build things. He wasn't trying to be a hero. He was just showing up. But every nail, every laugh, every thank you rebuilt not just birdhouses, but his own backbone. Stories like Robert's are everywhere. People who thought they'd reached the end, only to discover that pressure was not a gravestone, but a lever. A push to rise again, to stand taller than they ever imagined. So if you've ever thought, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, remember Robert and his crooked birdhouse. Sometimes, the very weight that feels unbearable is the one that gives you the strength to rebuild. Pressure is like gym weights. Ever noticed how no one complains about the heaviness of a dumbbell at the gym? In fact, people pay money to suffer under extra weight. Why? Because deep down we all know, resistance builds strength. Pressure in life works the same way, think about it. A weightlifter doesn't grow by lifting feathers, they grow by straining under something heavy enough to push their muscles past comfort. Your life pressure, whether it's a health scare, financial squeeze, or the loneliness of an empty house, isn't meant to flatten you. It's meant to stretch you. Each struggle is like adding one more plate to the barbell. Hard? Absolutely. But useless? Not at all. The science backs this up. Psychologists call it stress inoculation, the idea that manageable stress acts like a vaccine. Small doses prepare you for bigger challenges ahead. Just like your immune system builds antibodies, your mental muscles toughen every time you push through something uncomfortable. Let's make it practical. Imagine you're caring for a sick spouse, or juggling too many doctor appointments. You feel crushed. But fast forward 6 months, suddenly you find yourself calmer in chaos, quicker in decisions, sharper in judgment. That growth didn't come from easy days, it came from lifting the weight of pressure, one shaky rep at a time. So the next time you feel life pressing down, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, what muscles am I building right now? Because just like in the gym, the pain you feel today might be the strength you flex tomorrow. And unlike dumbbells, life doesn't let you put the weight back on the rack, it insists you carry it until you get stronger. In other words, pressure isn't punishment. It's resistance training for the soul. Small actions that save you. Here's a secret your brain doesn't want you to know. It doesn't take a massive life overhaul to turn pressure into fuel. It only takes small, consistent actions, the kind that seem too simple to matter, but end up being game changers. Let's get practical. When pressure makes you feel like the walls are closing in, start with your breath. Not the shallow "I'm panicking" breath, but slow, deep inhales through the nose, steady exhales through the mouth. Harvard studies show that even 2 minutes of deep breathing lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, like flipping a switch. That's not meditation magic, that's biology. Another small but mighty action? Walking. Yep, just walking. Stanford researchers discovered that a 15-minute walk boosts creative thinking and problem solving by 60%. So, if you're stuck spiraling about bills, family, or health, lace up your shoes and walk around the block. Your brain will thank you with fresh perspective, and then there's connection. Call a friend, text your neighbor, or simply wave to the mail carrier. Social bonds release oxytocin, that anti-stress hormone that literally softens the impact of pressure on your heart. Even brief, genuine moments of connection act like emotional seatbelts when life slams the brakes. Don't underestimate rituals either. Drinking tea at the same time each day, jotting down one grateful thought before bed, or watering your plants in the morning, these aren't silly routines. They're anchors. They tell your nervous system, hey, we're safe. We've got this. The beauty of these small actions is that they're doable at 50, 70, even 90. You don't need to climb Everest to prove resilience. You just need to stack little wins, brick by brick, until pressure stops feeling like a bulldozer and starts feeling like a builder. So, when life feels like it's squeezing too tight, remember, relief is often just one small action away. When it's time to let go. Picture this, you're carrying a heavy grocery bag, insisting you can handle it, even though your fingers are turning purple and the bread is getting squished at the bottom. That's what unhealthy pressure looks like, refusing to drop the bag even when it's clearly crushing you. Here's the truth, not all pressure is good. Scientists talk about the Yerkes-Dodson curve, which basically says there's a sweet spot for stress. Too little, and you're bored, unmotivated. Just enough, and you're sharp, energized. Too much, and you crash, your body floods with cortisol, your sleep suffers, your immune system tanks. That's not training anymore, that's torture. So how do you know when it's time to let go? Look for signals, waking up more tired than when you went to bed, snapping at loved ones over tiny things, or feeling like even small tasks, like making coffee, feel like climbing Everest. Those aren't signs of weakness, they're your body's way of waving a white flag. Letting go doesn't mean quitting. It means adjusting the load. Handing over a responsibility. Saying no to an event. Telling your doctor, your kids, or even yourself, I can't carry this one right now. It's not surrender, it's strategy. Even professional athletes know when to rest between sets, because without recovery, there's no strength. And here's the irony, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not to hold on tighter, but to release. To say, this pressure isn't shaping me, it's breaking me. And by setting it down, you give yourself room to breathe, heal, and stand taller again tomorrow. So, yes, pressure can be your gym weight, your teacher, your ally. But only if you respect the line where training ends and damage begins. And knowing that line? That's wisdom. Stand tall and smile. Here's the picture I want you to hold in your mind: a tree standing in the middle of a storm. The wind bends its branches, the rain lashes its bark, yet somehow it doesn't break. Why? Because its roots dig deep. That's you. Pressure is not the storm meant to snap you, it's the storm meant to remind you that you're still rooted, still alive, still capable of reaching upward. At this stage of life, it's tempting to believe pressure is proof you're running out of strength. But what if it's the opposite? What if every pounding heartbeat, every demanding moment, is a reminder that you still have purpose, still have a role, still have something worth showing up for? Think back to the times you thought you'd never make it, the illnesses, the financial crunches, the heartbreaks. You did make it. Not only that, you're still here, still listening, still searching for ways to grow. That's not weakness. That's living proof that pressure never killed you, it sculpted you. So, when tomorrow's weight arrives, and it will, don't shrink. Don't curse it. Stand tall. Smile, even if it's through gritted teeth. Because the very act of standing up is your victory. Pressure doesn't want to bury you, it wants you to rise, and maybe that's the greatest gift of all, the chance, every single day, to prove to yourself that you're stronger than yesterday. Pressure doesn't come to kill you, it comes to remind you that you still have the strength to stand tall. Remember, every day you endure, you've already won. Stand proud, smile, life is still waiting for you to live it fully.